I mean, the fist in the throat is crazy. It's crazy. It's dangerous.
Guys, hello, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Geneva. This is Geneva in General, and boy, oh boy, do I have some breaking news to share with you all today. Again, just about like earlier this morning before I went to the gym, I talked about how, Alyssa Thomas pretty much got away with a huge, I guess not a common foul, it was a hard foul. Now it's been upgraded to a flagrant 2 foul, okay, might I add, from the league. And a lot of the Caitlin Clark fans, WNBA fans, and general Indiana Fever fans are like, how is it that the refs can just blatantly ignore Alyssa Thomas punching Caitlin Clark in the neck like that? Showing any, regrets. She didn't even care. She just walked over her to get the ball. And then after that, that hard foul, that flagrant 2 foul, now is what it's being called. We see Caitlin Clark in the second quarter. She left the game, never to return. They saying that she was experiencing some back pain after that. Stephanie White, being the coach of the Indiana Fever, of course, she has, expressed herself. She was mad about it. She was furious about what happened to Caitlin Clark last night. In the post-game interview, she was like, the refs pretty much got away without calling a foul on Alyssa Thomas for giving that cheap shot to Caitlin Clark. This is what Stephanie White had to say in last night's game, okay, in that post-game interview after this whole debacle went on. This is per ESPN article. It says, White said Wednesday's game continued a pattern of Clark being officiated differently than the rest of the WNBA players. And Stephanie White quotes, "We have a generational talent and WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots against her right there that weren't called." White said, "Absolutely unacceptable." She continues, "Number one, you've got to call it. It's absolutely egregious and utterly disrespectful," White said, adding that the officials later told her they didn't see what Thomas did. Says White said she did speak to the officials at halftime about both plays, because a lot of people was like, okay, you're supposed to be, the coach in charge of this team. You're supposed to have your players back. Why didn't you speak up at that moment? Of course, if the refs claim they ain't see it, obviously, girl, you have to have seen it, because you're right there on the, on the court side. In the coach's box. And she said that she did speak with them. She says, "Yet we still had 11 fouls in the fourth quarter to their 2, White said. They still shot 24 free throws in the second half. The referees are coming in here aware of what happened 2 nights ago, and that ish still happens," White said. And the reckless closeout that they actually reviewed, that wasn't upgraded. To me, that's like a do-over on a test. How do you screw it up again? Absolutely disrespectful. We spent all offseason looking at officiating, and I still say the one thing that we keep asking for is consistency. Clark is not called the same way as everybody else is called. The fist in the throat is crazy. It's crazy. It's dangerous. When you have these things continue to happen time and time and time again, eventually it gets frustrating. And then White was asked about how cautious the Fever need to be about Clark's back issues, and she quotes, "We've got to be careful. It's a long season," White said. "We've got to make sure that she's healthy." Guys, update. Breaking news. I had to give you a little bit of the background story because, again, everybody is like literally my whole timeline on Twitter. They're like, what is Stephanie White doing? She needs to apply that pressure. It's like a mama bear is supposed to protect their little cub. It's like, what is Stephanie White doing? You saw what happened to Caitlin Clark. I don't want to hear none of this, the refs claim, "Oh, we ain't see it." Well, you saw it, Miss Stephanie White, and you the head coach, so you need to do something about it. And apparently she has, because, guys, this is breaking news just 10 minutes ago, okay? News source is Kendra Andrews, okay? She's not the only one, but she is the first person who I found out about this on Twitter just literally like 10 to 15 minutes ago. She just tweeted this. Again, Kendra Andrews, guys. I believe that's Malika Andrews' little sister, or older sister. I believe it's her younger sister. She covers women's basketball at ESPN, okay? She's from Oakland. She just tweeted this 10 minutes ago. Breaking news. Alyssa Thomas has been assessed a flagrant penalty 2 and a 1-game suspension for recklessly making contact with her fist to the throat area of Caitlin Clark, the WNBA announced. The incident occurred at the 6:52 mark of last night's game in the second quarter. And again, a lot of her fans feel vindicated. Okay, a lot of Caitlin Clark fans, Indiana Fever fans. If you're just a fan of basketball, that was just doing too much. Again, in my opinion, hater or lover, it's even about hate. Love or hate some of these players. Again, basketball is supposed to be about basketball. It's supposed to be about the brilliance of the skill, the technique, the discipline, the on-court discipline. That simply was not a basketball move. And honestly, I believe if Alyssa Thomas just displayed some humanity and like said, "Oh, my bad," mouth something, tried to help her up, it would have been, it wouldn't have been as bad. Maybe, perhaps. I'm sure she would have still got a foul if the refs who claim they didn't see anything, if they did see it. I'm sure she would have got maybe at least a common foul. But the fact that she drove that fist into her neck and just walked over her like a sack of potatoes and snatched the ball, it was doing too much. You was doing too much, Alyssa Thomas. Again, I'm with the officials. I'm with the WNBA and Stephanie White for protecting their player being Caitlin Clark. Again, she's their star of their team. So, of course, even if it was like, just any old, bench warmer, you can't punch nobody in the neck, okay? And just display this aggressive tendencies and attitudes and not even have any remorse. So again, guys, comment down below your thoughts on this entire situation. I knew after everybody, again, my whole timeline is flooded with everybody dragging Stephanie White, they dragging Alyssa Thomas, they dragging the Phoenix Mercury. And then the fact that they had gotten to it on Monday night with Sophie Cunningham and DeWanna Bonner with the finger pointing. Okay, there wasn't a finger pointing war. And now this, what just happened last night? Oh yeah, Alyssa Thomas, Green Bay, get it together. Alyssa Thomas, you are officially suspended for 1 game.